Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post with Pastor Eikev is titled Taking the Long Road. In this week's Pasha, we read the pasuk that says that Hashem says to the Bnei Yisrael, you will remember the whole journey that you went on, the whole route through the Midbar, the 40 years that you were traveling through the desert. And this was done to test you, to afflict you, to test you, and to see what was in your heart, to see if you will keep the mitzvahs or not. This is a very interesting pasuk, and we can learn a few different ideas from it. Firstly, when Hashem says that he took them through the Midbar, this long journey, this circuitous route, because it didn't actually have to take 40 years. It should have been a journey of a matter of days, but for different reasons, different circumstances that led to this journey being extended and being this long journey, this long road that they took through the desert. And this is a test, this was a challenge for them, to see how would they respond, how would they cope with this long journey and the challenges of going through the Midbar. The Ramban points out that this extra route, that Hashem could have taken them on a different route that would have taken a shorter time. But just going through these 40 years in the desert, was a challenge to the Bnei Yisrael. They had to struggle and suffer through this time, and this was their test. So the Ramban sees the difficulties and the hardships through this long journey as being the test for the Bnei Yisrael that they can learn from it, and it can be something that they can grow from. But the Sforno takes a different interpretation. When he looks at the pasuk and it says that this journey was to afflict you and to test you, the Sforno actually says that it was because Hashem gave the Bnei Yisrael bread and clothing in a miraculous way. He provided for them. Everything was provided for them in the desert. And this sounds strange. How is that a test? It sounds ideal. It sounds like living in an idyllic situation, walking through the Midbar, and Hashem will provide everything. You don't have to put in any effort. You don't have to suffer. Your clothes and your bread, everything will be provided for you. So how is that a test? But the Sforno is saying it is a test, because when something is too easy, we should be wary. If something is too quick, too easy, we can take it for granted. We habituate to the situation, and we simply take it for granted and think that it's normal. And this is the test. If everything is so easy, everything comes without any suffering or any effort, then a person might just take the situation for granted and habituate to it, and they'll forget Hashem, and they won't perform the mitzvahs. So this is the challenge. When it's so easy, when it's too quick and too easy, will the Bnei Yisrael take the situation for granted, or will they remember Hashem? And will they keep the mitzvahs? Because the research shows that when a person actually has to put in effort, when they have to really put in concentrated effort and focus on a task, they are more likely to benefit from it, gain from it, to remember it, and to also perform better. This is what the research is suggesting. So in this situation, when they don't have to put in any effort, there's no concentrated effort, they don't have to focus, then they perhaps are just going to forget. And this therefore is the challenge, to test them, to see if they will remember Hashem and keep the mitzvahs. And furthermore, when the pasuk says that this test was to see what was in the Bnei Yisrael's heart, the Sforno comments and says that what Hashem wanted to see is whether he could look into the Bnei Yisrael's heart, meaning to see their potential, and whether this potential could be translated into action. And from a humanistic psychological point of view, we could say that this means that, from a humanistic point of view, that every individual has a potential. Every individual is inclined to growth and development and self-actualization. This is the approach taken by the humanistic research. So this pasuk is saying that it's looking at the innate inclination for every individual to recognize that they have potential and to actualize this potential and to express it in an open way, in an outward way. And this is what Hashem wants to see. And for a person to achieve their potential, it's not something that can be done quickly. There are no shortcuts to achieving success and self-actualization in the world. It takes a long journey. A person has to take the long road. Have a great Shabbos and keep well.